Hey guys, it's Girl Got Game, and welcome back to Steam Prison, where it is time for the Bro Saint's route. That's right, Saint Yune. It is his turn, and I'm so excited because I want to know how this is going to go. I have so many questions about how we date this immortal saint. I've dated lots of different types of people in my time as an Atomi visual novel player. But an immortal saint is going to be a first, and I have so many questions. So, with that in mind, I'm actually still in the common route here, but it's been so long since we first heard the angelic choir, when we first ran into St. Yune before we went down for our exam. So I wanted to start there. And of course, I'm going back through old stuff just in case there's a new scene. Might not be, but there might be. So, anyway. Let's refresh our memory of when we first saw the saint in person. Finn, walking beside me, suddenly stopped dead in his tracks. What's wrong?
That person walking towards us. Is that...
Oh. Cue the choir. There he is. Look how angelic he is. Saint Yune. It was Yune Sekie, our country's greatest saint. He was ageless and immortal. He was our hierophant, blessed by God, and everyone revered him. I was no exception to that reverence. The moment I saw him, my heart began to flutter. What's His Grace doing here? The police barracks were inside the temple, His Grace's residence, so meeting him was not out of the question. But the temple was extremely large, so meeting him wasn't especially likely either. What are we going to do? Finn, come here! I bowed my head and moved out of the way as His Grace passed. I heard his footsteps. With steps slower than my own heartbeat, His Grace Yune was about to pass me by. But then he stopped.
You?
I was so startled that I gave a little jolt of surprise.
That was a funny reaction. Like a scolded child.
I'm very sorry.
You can be at ease. Come on, you two. Raise your heads. As you wish.
Slowly I raised my head and met His Grace's gaze. I resisted the urge to immediately avert my eyes and began to speak instead. How may we be of assistance?
Oh, I need nothing from you. I wanted to thank you for allowing me past. May God bless you. Goodbye.
His Grace began to walk away immediately. We watched him as he departed.
That was the first time I've seen him from up close.
Yeah, same for me. As my heartbeat slowly went back to normal, I felt a profound happiness. I didn't just see him. I talked to him. Mother won't believe it when I tell her. After talking to His Grace, today is going to be a great day. It sure is. It's the start of his route. It's the best of days. Alright, so with that, there's one more pre-scene in the Heights that Yune has with, I want to say, Lord Evans, that's it. I was thinking Sir Fitzgerald, I'm like, no. Lord Evans, so I'll bring you in when we have that scene as well, guys. Actually, guys, I'm going to bring you in for this choice before we go back to the Heights after our exam of sorts. Because I've never picked this option, but I feel saying to Inez the Heights are a wonderful place would be apropos, considering we're going to be spending our time in the Heights this time around. And, yeah. So let's see what this dialogue option does. I learned what a wonderful place the Heights are. The depths in the Heights are so different. It would be difficult for me to live here. I think everyone in the Heights would echo that sentiment, and so I want to make sure none of them commit crimes that would see them banished here.
I don't know you very well, but I think you can be a model to the people. I want you to live with your head held high.
Aw, Inez, I miss you, BB. I do miss you. All Alright, well, I will bring you in for that scene I was mentioning earlier, guys. Just hang tight and I'll see you in a second. There it is. Yune Sekie's perspective. Alright, let's refresh ourselves with this as well. Such a nice room.
I'll excuse myself then. Yes, good work. No matter how much paperwork I do, there's always more. I know that it's necessary to keep things running smoothly, but... Come in.
Please excuse me.
A criminal disposition notice.
Yes, I was contacted by an official from the waste processing department. This seemed like it would interest you. From the waste processing department. That means more after doing Adage's route.
I see. Thank you. And thank the official there as well.
I will. Excuse me.
A criminal disposition notice. It lists the charges against the criminal and the proceedings leading up to their judgment. These are normally archived, not disposed of. Very odd. Proceedings were opened yesterday, and the judgment was yesterday. It doesn't matter what crime it is, it should take at least a week. Very, very odd. The victims are the Testellas, husband and wife. Keith Testella. He's a delegate. Why was something involving a government official not put on my desk? And the killer was their daughter. I see. Killed her own parents.
Dun dun dun! Alright. Well, I think you guys can safely hang out with me from this point on. It's the day of the case, and we have a new option to pick. I'm excited. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I also want to see what color this is going to be once we actually get onto the route proper. Is it going to stay black box, or are we going to get a new color? Okay, so now we need to resist being sent down, and we should be on Yune's route proper. I can't accept this. My parents had been killed, and I was being blamed for it. And now I was going to be exiled. I won't accept this! The police officer who was escorting me glared when I stopped. Start walking. I refuse. He grimaced in disbelief. It doesn't matter what you say. I'm innocent. When I said it out loud, the spell was broken. I felt liberated. I didn't kill my parents. I loved them. I would never have killed them. This is being processed too fast for a murder case. I request a reinvestigation. Impossible. I have orders from the temple. Then let me talk to the one who issued that order. I'm a suspect in this case, but I'm also a victim who lost her parents. No. Now get moving. Why is he being so merciless about this? He tried to pull me by the wrist, and I immediately slapped his hand away. What are you doing? I won't go to the depths until this is treated properly. How often do I need to tell you that your demands won't be met? The man drew his sword and signaled for the other men to draw theirs as well. Very flashy. I'm the only one they're escorting. I wasn't afraid of their swords, provided I could get a hold of one of my own. I looked at their posture, their movements, trying to find the one I could take on first. That guy! The sword tip of the officer closest to me was quivering. Perhaps he was new, or had no combat experience. He was clearly afraid to point his sword at me. That was perfect. I darted at him. Slamming into him shoulder first, I managed to grab his sword. Get it, girl? Ah! We rolled across the floor. I put my knee on his back to keep him from moving and put the blade against the back of his neck. Don't move, please. Hoping desperately that he wasn't going to move, I looked up.
She's lost her mind.
No, I'm perfectly calm. If you want me to spare him, postpone my exile.
You don't get it. I told you that we don't have the authority to do that.
Please, just a few days is enough. I won't concede to leaving the Heights yet. I knew that the situation wasn't going to drastically change within a few days. I want to resist, though. I can't leave without understanding what's going on. I have strived to be a model to the people. I have been fair and just, conducting myself in a manner the people could be proud of. I believe that is how a police officer must be, embodying justice. Officers, let me defend myself. I won't accept being sent to the depths. Not without being able to bury my parents or prove my innocence. Is this justice to you? Do you have no sense of justice?
Cyrus Testella, you are arrested on charges of civil disorder. That will postpone your exile by a few hours, or perhaps a few days. Is that enough?
Hey, there's actually another decent police officer in the force? They're not all corrupt? Huzzah. Yes, that's enough. Thank you. I'm sorry for the violence. I rose to my feet and gave the sword back to the officer I took it from. Once he had his sword back, the others surrounded me. They tied my hands behind my back. I didn't resist.
We will lead you to the holding cells. You won't be set free.
I know.
The civil disorder charge is real. This has only made your situation worse.
I know that too. It was necessary to stay here a little longer.
You won't be able to do anything. This is absurd.
Perhaps, yes. He was right, of course. I do admire, I thought maybe he was just playing along so that she would give the sword back, and then once they had, like, secured her by tying her hands behind her back, they're just like, and to the depths you go. But he kept his word. So, I salute that random police officer. He was right, of course. I hadn't resisted because I had a plan to prove my innocence. There wasn't much I could do from the holding cells. Affecting the outcome of anything was going to be hard. Still, I can't just leave quietly. The depths and the heights were far apart. Once I left, it was all over. I was never going to find the real criminal. Unless you were on Enos's route. I wish there was something I could do. I followed the officers to my cell, happy that the lift wasn't going to take me down just yet. Actually, Inez and Adage. You find out who's behind it all. I had evaded my exile, at least for the time being, but there was nothing I could do from my cell, and that cursed clock is still ticking. When I yelled, nobody came. All I could do was wait. Even the passage of time was difficult to gauge. The cell had no windows. I was given food to eat 5 times, and ate it. I slept twice. That meant about 2 or 3 days had passed. Nothing gets better by waiting, does it? I tried to talk to the people who brought me food, but they ignored me. All I was doing was postponing the inevitable. Was I really going to get into that lift? If only I could at least get a hold of my criminal disposition notice. I had to know how the temple had judged my case before I could do anything, but I had no way of getting it. I haven't admitted my crime. I don't think this is how criminals are normally treated. I wondered whether the people I'd arrested had felt the same way in that cell. I wonder if I arrested any innocents. Had I arrested anyone who wasn't given the chance to prove their innocence? Who was exiled? No, I don't want to think that I did. I lived a just life. I didn't arrest any innocents. But the situation being the way it was hard not to think about it. Are they really going to exile me? Was I really going to have to live in that horrible place as a criminal? I looked up. Finn! Hi! You're still here? They didn't send you down! Oh, I was worried about that. I'm like, They better not send you down if I'm still up here.
Hello. It's good to see you.
Finn, why are you here?
I wanted to see you.
I see. How did you know I was here?
Everyone's talking about how you caused a scene on the way to the station.
I see. Sorry if that caused you trouble.
No, no. You're innocent. Of course you resisted. Is it true you were violent? Or is that also a false charge?
No, I was being violent. It's true. I had no choice. They weren't even listening to me. I disarmed one of them and took him hostage.
Disarmed? That's like you.
I guess. And this is the end result. I can't prove my innocence from here. I'm just waiting. It's a bit painful. Finn sighed, clearly empathizing with my situation. I wanted to talk about nicer things and cleared my throat. What about you? How's life treated you while I was gone?
Me? Well, I was discharged from the force.
Okay. I was wondering, I'm like, you're still in your police outfit? So I didn't know how that worked, but I guess they didn't want to draw you like civilian clothes, which is fine. What? Why?
Police officers work in pairs. I guess you know that part. And so, if one of them loses their job, the other is discharged as well.
What? Oh no!
It's true. Sir Cordoa told me that there will be a formal letter telling me about it in a few days.
But then it's my fault that you were discharged. Now even Finn. It wasn't just my problem anymore. Even Finn had been dragged into it. I was furious at how powerless I was.
Oh, but I think it will be more like being transferred, I think. Not a real dismissal, I think.
You said I think 3 times in one sentence, so I don't know if you really believe that. Finn was choosing his words carefully. I was too shocked to say anything and waited for him to say more.
Anyway, I'll have a new workplace, and I want to do my best there. You shouldn't give up either. That's all I wanted to tell you. I asked Sir Cordoa to let me see you one more time. We haven't been able to say much, but I'm glad I had a few quiet moments with you at the end. Goodbye.
Wait, Finn! At the end? That makes it sound like we're not going to see each other anymore.
That's true. I'm sorry. Until the next time. We will meet again.
Yes, you bet we will. Thank you for coming, Finn. Finn smiled and left. He was still mostly pure at this point. Ugh. Finn! He came to say goodbye. Ugh. I listened to his fading footsteps after he closed the door. Finn lost his job because of me. He'd been smiling, but I knew that was nothing to smile about. I didn't want to make you sad. What happened in my house has changed his life as well. I'm sorry, Finn. Dots. After Finn left, it was impossible for me to tell how much time passed. My desire to eat or rouse myself diminished. Nothing changed. I was still imprisoned. It didn't look like they were going to exile me anytime soon, but I wasn't getting out either. I was beginning to think I might have to rot in my cell when hurried footsteps approached and the door was thrown open.
Cyrus de Stella, get ready and follow me.
Am I getting exiled now? There was no need to get ready. I had nothing else with me but my clothes. I straightened my hair and my clothes a little and walked towards the officer.
Be respectful. Got it?
Respectful? He didn't answer, putting me in shackles instead. Who am I going to meet? There was no answer. Where are we going?
Just go.
He pushed me ahead. It seemed he wasn't going to tell me. I have no choice but to obey, even if I have no idea what's going on. Roger. I've got to be respectful. I followed him, holding on to the vain hope that I might be given a chance to explain what had happened. Was it enough days for Yune to look into this? Stepping outside after being imprisoned made me feel dizzy. I blinked, hoping to accustom myself to the brightness, and looked around. This place is so noisy. It was so quiet in my cell. There was a reason it was noisy, though.
Look there. That's the girl who killed her parents and fought with police officers.
You're right. Why is she here?
I'm the cause of this commotion, it seems. When the people saw me, they stopped and looked at me. Nobody approached me, but I couldn't help but overhear their talk.
Why isn't the temple dealing with criminals like her? Why is she here?
I don't know either. I can't believe she used to be with the police.
I followed the officer, unable to avoid the vile whispers. Their looks were piercing. What they said hurt me. Simply walking down the hallway was a punishment itself. The officer had led me to the door leading to the chapel.
Sanctuary!
He undid my shackles and warned me again.
You will go alone from here. Listen to me now.
Yes, yes, be respectful. I know. He stared at me for a moment, then opened the door. I wonder who's waiting for me here. Excuse me. I bowed and walked into the chapel.
Thank you for coming.
Oh my, you spoiled me, sir. A CG right at the beginning? Damn. Saint Yune! My heart almost stopped. I hadn't expected to find him there. Why is he here? Had Saint Yune really summoned me? Why? Why would he? My mind was racing. I had no answer. No, he must have wanted someone else to come. I suspected I was trespassing on his prayer. I'm sorry that I disturbed your prayer. Excuse me.
I wasn't praying. And why are you leaving? I only just had you come here.
Had me come? Me?
Yeah. I wanted to talk to you, so I had you brought here.
He gestured for me to come closer. I was unsure what to think of the situation, but having been summoned, I had to be as polite as possible. And respectful. I slowly approached him. Yes? Why did he summon me? Saint Yune was the head of our country. It was inconceivable to me that he would even be aware of who I was.
Cyrus Testella, your situation has reached my attention. You have my condolences after your terrible loss.
I can't believe he knows about me. To Saint Yune, I was just one citizen among many. To think that he's taking note of me personally, he's truly a saint. On the other hand, I had no idea what he knew about my case. If he'd arranged for me to be released and brought to him, then I assumed he knew the charges against me were false. That meant that
But a murder is a murder. And they were your family, too. Killing your parents is the gravest of crimes.
But It was my own fault for getting my hopes up. He can't read minds. Unfortunately. There had been little reason for me to think that Saint Yune would think I was innocent. I need to be respectful with him. I can't be rebellious now. However, I had to say something. It might be my last chance. I didn't kill them.
You didn't.
No, I didn't kill my parents. It was someone else.
Who was it?
Well,
You shouldn't lie to me.
I'm not lying, though. But I didn't know how to answer his question. I didn't know who had done it.
If you're going to lie, do a better job of it. You could falsify the paperwork.
Falsifying the paperwork is a crime.
Sure, but a lesser one than killing your parents.
This man is just... He clearly thought I had killed my parents. I'm just a citizen to St. Yune. Normally it would be a great honor simply to talk to him, but... I shouldn't have hoped that he would change anything, but I was still disappointed.
I think I'll need to punish you.
Punishment. My mind went to a really bad place after that line. Don't look at me, that's all I'm gonna say. I gulped at those words. I'm just saying, it's very early for punishment. That's all I'm gonna say. Am I being exiled? His eyes were clear like colored glass. I gulped again.
Normally, yes. But not this time. Cyrus to Stella. Your punishment will be serving me as my attendant.
I'm just trying to figure out how that's a punishment. Is there something about being your attendant that's bad? Do I get a say in this? Probably not. Serving you. How is it a punishment to be your servant? Okay, thank you, Cyrus. I would be serving you, St. Yune. That's not a punishment, it's an honor.
Normally, perhaps. But...
But?
No, I'm not going to tell you yet. I want to savor it more.
Rude! How dare you?
Anyway, you're suitable. Do you accept?
This is so weird. Yes, you are suitable for the punishment I have in mind. I just have, like, lots of red flags about this. I'm like, what am I doing exactly, sir? Okay, so I know that Yune likes to be treated as a normal person and for Cyrus to be devoted, I assume, to him, if we're going to be his attendant. So I can't is definitely not the right answer. I feel this is too subservient, like, oh, my lord and master, Saint Yune, yes, please. So, it's like, yeah, sure, dude. I'll take it over going to the depths for now. Hey, it's an up! Serving Saint Yune. I had no idea what made me suitable, or why he had decided that. Yeah, like, why? What is it about her, then? If you think that she killed her parents, why do you need her specifically? I've got so many questions. It's definitely better than exile in the depths. It would be an honor. Allow me to serve you. The choice was simple.
Thank you. I was expecting you to be more hesitant. This is a bit anticlimactic.
You liked it, though.
I was going to have you accept this no matter what. Thanks for making it quick. Well, nice to have you, attendant. You can ask questions later. First, you need to learn what you have to do.
Saint Yune clapped his hands and a door opened. A man appeared, moving in soft, careful motions.
The girl will be my new attendant. Teach her what she needs to know. Thoroughly.
As you wish, Your Holiness.
Saint Yune nodded and looked at me again.
See you later. I look forward to your work.
With that, Saint Yune left the chapel. My work? Why did he pick me? I didn't get a chance to ask. The situation was so bizarre that I had to ask myself whether I was dreaming. But I wasn't. I had to accept it. Anyway, I can stay here now. And I was even going to live inside the temple near St. Yune. The temple was at the heart of our country, the focal point of all that happened in it. Here I had a chance to prove my innocence. But I need to do it lawfully. I need to clear my name properly. Poor Glissade. What is Glissade going to do? Does Finn still have to go to the depths? And what about the Evans? Oh man, I have so many questions. Finn was going through a lot because of me as well. Perhaps if I could prove my innocence, that would help him too. I won't give up, and there's a lot of work ahead of me.